In this video, I will be sharing with you an effective crypto profit taking strategy if the bull market goes on until 2026. So if you're sick of your gains vanishing faster than your gym motivation, then this is the video to watch. And by the way, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Ken the Crypto. I've been trading, investing, educating, building in crypto for nearly 8 years now. Since 2017, I've rode through multiple bear markets, multiple bull markets. This right here is my third. Made well over 7 figures. I've turned 5 to 10K portfolios into multiple 6-figure portfolios. Was it by luck? Probably, but it's just because I played the game long enough to see the results. So regardless if you're new to crypto, intermediate, maybe you're advanced, you've been in crypto for a while and you're just getting back into it. Now, I am completely delusional and absolutely convinced that there's going to be a fat bull market in the next, let's say, 1 to 6 months from now, right? Towards the end of the year, maybe perhaps in the beginning of 2026. Again, I got this strong gut feeling, and I know people are gonna say, okay, you shouldn't feel in the market, but being in this market for nearly 8+ years now, it's safe to say that I could see a lot of patterns. Every single bull market, I've made money, I've round tripped, I've lost money, made it back again, and the cycle continues. So I've learned a lot of lessons along the way, and I know it sucks when you round trip profits, when you lose profits that you spent hours on the screen, on the charts to make. Maybe you researched tons of meme coins and you made 6 figures, maybe even 7 figures, and then you round tripped it. I know how that feels, bro. It sucks. Crypto can feel like Tinder, all right? Let's just think of this. It feels like Tinder for your money. It's easy to swipe in, it's hard to get commitments, and usually you probably get ghosted most of the time. I don't know, that's just my experience. That's why I don't use Tinder. Hopefully that gives you a better analogy. So before I go on with the content, I wanna make sure that you get the context because it's the most important thing. Because without this context, I believe that you could just learn any strategy, listen to any strategy, and you'll probably forget it because you don't know the importance of it. So here it is. So I want to make some historical examples here. Back in 2017, December 2017, this is when altcoins went into full casino mode. I remember those times when you threw in $10 and any altcoin, any single altcoin, that $10 would turn into probably $1,000 to $10,000 to $100,000 overnight or in just a span of a few weeks. And I've seen it multiple times. People were practically making 10x, 100x, 1000x's with projects that were made on Paint. So imagine that, like the bull run we saw in 2021 or maybe the meme coin season that we saw last year. Dude, that was absolutely nothing compared to how it was in 2017, 2018. Those were the golden days. By the time that bull market happened, boom, 80 to 90% crashes. A lot of people rode it all the way up and all the way down. I was one of them. And that's why you really have to think about profit taking. Now, the most dangerous words when it comes to investment says by Sir John Templeton, who was a billionaire back in the 1930s, 1940s. He had a hedge fund that was performing 15% year over year for 38 years. You know how difficult that is? Consistently, if you're managing hundreds and millions of dollars, 15% year over year, his clients would have been sucking his. He said that the most dangerous words when it comes to investing is that this time is different. And when people said that in 2021, oh, this time is different, it's gonna keep going up, it's gonna keep going up, boom, it crashed. And in this current bull market, people are saying the exact same thing. This time it's different. Maybe it's different just because the hedge funds and the big banks are getting in here. However, it's still going to be the same cycle as it is every single market, which is there's euphoria, there's a lot of euphoria, there's hype, and then eventually the market crashes down hard. And then on again to another cycle, just to keep it simple. Let's get into actual strategy. Now, there are 5 market cues or signals I look for when I think it's time to start taking a lot of profits and starting to stable up. They are when the retail piles in. So this is when you're going to see a lot of newbies come in. Usually it's when people say, oh, hey, how do I buy this? How do I buy this coin? What is this? How do I bridge? When you start seeing a lot of comments on YouTube channels or Instagrams or TikToks, when you start seeing beginner comments like those, that means that retail is about to pile in. When you start seeing a lot of meme coins or big altcoins start to pump, retail is starting to pile in. You want to look for those 2 things because the more you have, the more confirmation that you have that, okay, that is the signal that's happening right now. Number 2 is you want to look if the Twitter hype is insane. Are people talking about crypto? Are people sharing their screenshots of their P&Ls? This is usually the number 1 thing that I look for because I remember in 2021 when I was sharing my screenshots to my friends, a few weeks later, boom, the screenshot that I shared was obsolete because I didn't take profits, or I shared the gains that I made, but it was unrealized gains. And there's a saying amongst the crypto community, when you screenshot your P&L or your gains, it's time to sell it. It's time to take profit. A person showing their friends, their families, social media, their profits, their P&Ls is the same thing as you telling your friends and family or to hop in crypto because they're gonna miss out on the big gains, on the FOMO, when the FOMO is actually happening in real time. And so that's why right now when you're watching videos like this, we're not there yet. And I believe that as I said again, I'm completely delusional. I have this gut feeling that there's gonna be a fat alt season that's about to happen in the next couple of months, 1 to 6 months. That's my thesis. And I believe a lot of money is gonna be poured into the projects, the coins, the categories that blew up last year in 2024. Now, the third signal I look for when it comes to taking profits is when the YouTube views are mooning. Now, as I upload this video, it's my first video in a long time. I know it's not gonna get a lot of views, but if it happens to that this video starts to pick up a lot of views, then that means that people are starting to pile on. Retails are starting to watch crypto videos, Bitcoin videos. People have a hunger to learn because they don't want to miss out on the FOMO. You want to look at big and small YouTube channels and really keep an eye on their viewership. If you see a small channel starting to pick up a lot of views fast, or a big channel that their views maybe spiked up 20, 40, 50%, most likely retail is coming in because they're, like I said, they are hungry to learn. And usually by the time when retail comes in and they're hungry to learn, it's a little too late. Now, the fourth signal to look for when it comes time to take profits in crypto is when altcoins start outpacing Bitcoin. If you look at the history right here, as we see, huge altcoin seasons start to happen when Bitcoin drops below 60%. Right now, we're at 64%. Last year in 2024, Bitcoin dropped less than 60%, and we still saw a massive altcoin rally. Obviously, it wasn't as big as compared to the ones in 2021 or 2017. As you saw in 2021, the huge altcoin rally happened when Bitcoin dropped below 50%. In 2017, the altcoin rally happened when Bitcoin dropped below 50%. And so right now we are still at 64%. Bitcoin dominance is still continuing to climb. And as we see from past historical references here, Bitcoin started to drop off when it reached above the 70 to 80% threshold. And so just based off historical data, we can say that when Bitcoin starts to rise close to 70%, the dominance may start dropping and then the money may flow into altcoins. This is just what I've seen for the past 8 years as I've been in crypto. I also want to make a case to the people that are saying, okay, the altcoin season is over. That was it. I don't think that's the case because I think what happened last year was just the market gooning us. It was just edging us and really giving us a glimpse of what's to happen, because from the time the altcoin season happened last year, there was a lot of news that happened in the middle of that. A lot of political news that happened in the middle of that sort of delayed the altcoin season from happening, which extended the bull market. And that's really what you have to realize, is that whenever there's huge events that happen, it sort of delays the current trend of the market. If we take a look back at COVID, the bull market actually happened right before COVID, and then COVID happened, and then it delayed the bull market all the way until the end of 2021. Had COVID not happened, the bull market most likely would have not lasted towards the end of 2021. But since there were so many political events that happened last year, with the election, with the wars, tariffs, every single political thing that you could think of, it just pretty much extended the bull market, I would say, towards the end of this year, maybe even the beginning of 2026. Now, the fifth signal you want to look for when it comes time to take profits is you want to look at the Bitcoin leverage ratio. The higher the ratio is, closer to 1, and as we saw in December 2024, November 2024, the ratio was around 0.2, and that's currently where we're at right now. It's sort of brewing up, because when people take more leverage, most likely means they have some excess capital to risk. It also tells you what the market is feeling. It means when people are taking more leverage, it means they're getting greedy. They're feeling FOMO. And when all 5 of these things check out, let's say when retail piles in, when Twitter hype is insane, YouTube views are skyrocketing, altcoins are outpacing Bitcoin, and the leverage ratios are going crazy, that's basically your cue to start scaling out. Ideally, what you want to look for is 4 out of those 5 things. 5 is great. If you're starting to see 3 out of those 5 things happen, then it's coming. And that's your cue to start scaling out. Now, you want to have sell targets before you buy. You want to set your price goals. And what I mean by price goal is you want to have a realistic goal of how much you want to make in the bull market. If you have $100 and you're trying to make $1 million in the next 6 months, is it possible? Yes. Is it realistic? Probably not, unless you take massive risk and get massively lucky. I have seen that. It was one of those because I got lucky because I play the game a lot. And so in these next 1 to 6 months, a realistic goal is really to 10x your portfolio. Is to 10x how much you have right now. Let's say you have $10,000, you can 10x that into multiple 6 figures. If you have $100,000, you could potentially make that into 7 figures, as long as you play your cards right. Now, if you're only looking for a 5x, then that's great. Then that means you don't have to take a lot of risk. And so once you have your sell targets, you want to rotate smartly. Understand that when one narrative peaks, it flows to the next. And so for this cycle, I believe what's going to happen what we've seen in 2024, because as I said, 2024 was just edging us towards the big climax, is first, it's going to happen Bitcoin. And then money flows from Bitcoin to layer ones. Layer ones flow to Ethereum. Ethereum flows into large cap altcoins like Solana or BNB. And then from there, if you see Solana, BNB, Ethereum pumping, the small altcoins or their meme coins are going to pump hard in those chains because the people's monies are already on those chains. And the trick here is you do not want to stay married to your bag, and you do not want to be in the middle of a pump. If Bitcoin is pumping right now and you start to buy Bitcoin, your chances of losing money greatly increases. And so if you want to decrease the chance of losing money and increase the chance of making money, you want to put that money next where you think it may flow. And so if Bitcoin's pumping, you want to throw into layer ones. If layer ones are already pumping, you want to throw into DeFi. If DeFi is already pumping, you want to throw into meme coins. If meme coins are already pumping, you might want to throw into AIs and so on. I do believe most categories will skyrocket. There's just too much money flowing right now. No, you want to make sure that you keep a core that you don't touch. Ideally, you want to keep at least 10 to 20% of your net worth in stable coins or something stable like Bitcoin. And so however much you have in crypto, if you have 100% of it in meme coins, you're a gambler and you're not really hedging your risk at all. And so if you have $100,000 overall in crypto, the safest way would be to put at least 10 to 20% of that in stable coins because you always somehow want to stay liquid. And so here is my personal portfolio strategy this bull market. Usually I'll keep 20% in stable coins or Bitcoin. I'll keep another 25% in huge altcoins, layer ones like Ethereum, BNB, Solana, Sui. I'll do another 25% on DeFi because that's one of my favorite categories. DEXs like Radium, Jupiter, Hyperliquid, and somewhere between 10 to 20% in high-risk meme coins. These could be meme coins such as Fartcoin, Whiff, Chill Guy, Moodeng, and so on. And when I do profit from some of those categories, I'll always make sure to put 10 to 20% in stable coins. And so here's my final take. Crypto is like a casino. Nobody really is here for the fucking tech other than the actual tech guys who program and code for a living, or guys who literally build things with code. But for the majority of us, we're here because it's an industry where we can thrive on. Understand that unless you're in crypto to build stuff, it is actually designed to get you hyped and separate you from your money. It's a market just like with any other markets. It's moved by the big guys and the little guys just come in and take the crumbs. The little guys are us, the retail investors. But you really don't have to play that game. You have to make a plan and you have to stick with it. You don't get greedy. You take profits. You rotate smartly. You keep a solid core, stable coins. And I know this is a lot easier said than done, but these are the things that I wish I learned in my first couple years being in crypto, because I have lost a lot of money because I wasn't able to internalize these things. Remember, it is not about how much money you make. A monkey can come in crypto, put some money in some meme coins or some altcoins, and they will make money for sure. No doubt about it. Anybody can do it. The real skill is how much money you keep. And the winners, they are the ones that actually leave the tables at the casino with the chips in their hand. And so if this helped you, hit that like and subscribe button below. Drop a comment below what you thought about this video.